And we are live on another edition of the state of the New York Knicks. You know, it's a Monday night, not much going on. And my friend and my guy, Mr. Kirkpatrick, how are you, Kenny? Let's talk some Knicks, man.
Let's talk some Knicks. We got the finals going on now, but I don't want to talk about that tonight.
No.
We've been holding off the show. Let everybody get their New York Knicks head coach search in, but we got our own little version and twist of it, and some other stuff to talk about tonight as well with this roster. So I'm excited to talk this hour about the Knicks with you and get the show started.
I guess like my question is, how's your state of mind? Like now we're a week, about 7 days in, right? We're 7 days in. Actually, I'm a little more than that. It was last Saturday. So, more than a week now. What's your state? Are you still pissed off? Are you still disappointed? Just, again, a weekend, what's your feelings?
I'm over it. I'm over the past. I'm now about the present and the future. I'm one of the ones, I know there's a lot of people out there, and we're going to get into it. We shouldn't have gotten rid of Tibbs, shouldn't have done this. Those same people in the media and out there complaining that he doesn't use his bench. Well, I complained about it all year, and it showed in the playoffs when you had no bench. What happened? Okay, you burned your players out. Celtics game, you're up 35 points. You got to have your assistant coach telling you to take the starters out when you're up 35 with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So those things show, and I think Leon Rose saw it, and the executive saw it for the Knicks, and they made a move, and I think they made the right move. And we're going to get into some head coach searches, Kurt. And I got some names that may be new to the scene, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, same thing with me, right? I mean, of course, I'm still ticked off. I'm still a little disappointed. I feel like we just blew a major opportunity. But listen, we got to go on, right? Like we got to go on, and it's not even that we got to go on for we got to go on to the point where we are regardless of what happens, Kenny, like right now, if you look at it, we are co-favorites with Indiana and second in the NBA to win the NBA championship last year, favored. So, we cannot dwell on this. We have to get over it because we are ready to go. We have to be ready to go and be ready to compete for a championship, in 6 months, or not even 6 months, in October, when this season starts. So, hey, it sucks still watching this, like watching the finals, and you look at it and you're just like, we should be there. I think I'm better than both. I think we're better than both of these teams. But like you said, let's move on.
Yep. Our good friend Eddie Siciliano. Kurt, I'll let you answer first. We just pretty much answered it a little bit, but how do you guys feel about the firing?
What's going on, sis? Um, Again, did he do a good job? Yes, he did. I said this last week. We were one of we were probably the laughing stock in the NBA, and he took us to playoffs in 5 years, 4 times, second round twice, Eastern Conference Final once. But here's the thing, and we always talk about this, sis. Since we coach together and always watching sports, did we meet our max with this guy? Can he get us any further, of where we want to go? And I think the answer is no. So, you know what? I agree with it. I think it has to be done. You mentioned the bench. He doesn't like adapt. He doesn't want to switch anything up, like it's my way or the highway. And it's just I don't think it was gonna work. So again, I appreciate him. He did a great job for us, but for where we want to go, I think it was the right move. Kenny, what do you think?
I thankfully think it was the right move. It was a move that had to be made because we hit our ceiling, and it showed in the playoffs. We were lucky to get by the Pistons.
Yeah.
We were lucky to get by the Celtics because if Tatum doesn't get hurt, the Celtics might win that series. It caught up to us in the Pacers series, so we were walking on thin ice right after the Pistons series. Right? So I think they knew this is the ceiling we're going to have with Tibbs, and the direction they want to go with Brunson and Towns not being defensive guys, not getting the most out of the offense from both of them as well. I think the offense, both of their offensive production can even be better than it was this year. And I think with Tibbs, it comes back down a little bit. And I just think the move had to be made. I think they need an offensive-minded head coach first with this roster. If it's a different roster, and we'll get into that, maybe I'm not bringing in a defensive-minded head coach first. I'm bringing in somebody else. We're going to talk about it in a couple minutes, Kurt, but I do agree with moving on from Thibodeau.
You know what shocks? There's one thing that shocks me though, Kenny. One thing. You mentioned the Pistons series, right? And the Pistons were the most physical team we played out of all three this playoff, right? They were the most physical style. But we answered that. If we played with that intensity against Indiana, we beat them in 5 games. Like, I don't know why we didn't do that. Like, that's what's shocking to me. Like, you took a Pistons team that meant nothing to us, right? There was no history there, nothing. They talked trash. They were tough guys, but we tough guyed them back. Now you bring in a team that, mocked you last year, beat you last year. They're always running their mouth, and you get them now healthy. And we didn't respond with the physicality. Like, that to me that's what I'm shocked and angered at, is we just didn't respond that way. Like, I talked about it last week. Like, nobody got in Halliburton's face. Nobody, like, I don't understand. Like, we did that a little in Detroit. I mean, Boston really doesn't play like that. But when Detroit did it, we responded. Cat responded. But everybody responded. But here it was like, we took it. Like that, I don't know. Am I off on that, or is that something you agree with me? And I'm shocked at that, because if you took any team in the NBA and you said that you're going to be physical, tough guys, and I would say it would be the Pacers is who the Knicks would want. And it was like,
there wasn't anything, and that to
yeah.
me also is probably a reason why the move on from Thibodeau, because he didn't get them in that mentality, being physical when they should have been definitely the more physical team 100% against the Pacers, against the Celtics. The Pistons, that's the type of team that the Knicks should have been against the Pacers. That type of
But
mentality.
why did they?
Physical.
But why did we respond to the pay? Like, why did we say, "Okay, Detroit, you want to go? Let's go"? Why didn't we do that in Indiana? Like, that's what I
I
don't
don't know.
understand.
I don't know. And that falls one on the coach,
Think
and,
about
and,
that. Like,
and
that's
then
what's
two on your
shocking.
and then two on your star players. So the coach got moved. You're not going to move on from Brunson. There's a chance you may move on from Towns, but you're not going to move on from your stars. So you move on from your coach. That's what happened. And you don't hear too much of it. You're hearing, oh, we shouldn't have fired Tibbs, shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that. They did the right thing because he did not have that team ready against Indiana. Indiana could have swept us. All joking aside. Well, one game we played, game three,
Yeah, and game
game
5. You're
game
right.
five rather.
Game
We
5.
showed up,
Right.
and that was it. And that was the Knicks team I was expecting to see the whole playoffs, and was excited after that game. And in game 6, we saw what happened in game
Yeah,
6.
yeah,
So
but like I don't know. It was something that was just off.
it was
And
definitely off. And like I said, you move on from the coach, Kurt. You can't move on from your star because
nope.
he's your star, and he's going to be a star here till hopefully he retires. So, but a couple hellos. A good friend Ernie, big Bronco
Stop,
fan,
Ernie.
he's throwing in a hello there. Go Broncos country. And our good friend Roy Osborne
What's
saying
up,
hello.
Roy?
Good evening, Kurt and Kenny. Nice to see you guys.
So let's just get right to
I
this
got a
thing.
couple things for you, Kurt.
Okay,
Which way do
good.
you want to start? Do you want to start with
I
head
want I
coaches? Do you
yeah,
want to
you
start
can.
with the roster
Let's
trades?
start with head coach.
You want
Let's
to get
start
the
with
head coach? All
because
right.
that's the news. As you know, the news, all over is they're interested in speaking to Jason Kidd. There was report Jason Kidd at one point Dallas was going to deny it. Then it came out today. Windhorst said there's mutual interest from Kidd and the Knicks. Here's the thing. There is going to have to be compensation. We are going to have to make a deal because he's under contract. So before you get to me, let me come right to you. Do you like Jason Kidd? Is he your first choice? And if he is, or even if he's not, how do you feel that we're going to have to, pay up somehow, probably through draft picks for compensation to Dallas for him, if that's where we're going to go?
If the compensation is draft picks, that don't bother me in the NBA.
Agree.
Because it's going to be in the 20s, hopefully the high 20s.
They're even talking multiple second round picks.
Right. Okay. So if it's even second round, hey, that's even better. But
Right.
Draft picks don't mean much to me in the NBA unless you're a lottery team. And even look at the lottery teams. Look
Right.
Look what happened to the Nets and the Wizards.
Right.
The Mavericks won the lottery. So I'm okay there. The other part of your question, do I like Jason Kidd? I like him. Not my top choice. My top choice, he's going to probably stay retired, and that's Jay Wright.
Okay.
And not just because of the
well, he said flat out. He said
Yeah.
he's out. He's not going to.
He's out.
Yeah.
So, but Jason Kidd's still not my top choice. Do you want my top choice, or do you want?
Let me just ask you this about Jason Kidd. Do you
He's top
think,
3. Jason
Okay.
Kidd's top 3.
Do you think? Again, topic I had with Jenny Hoops tonight at the dinner table. Do you think they want Jason Kidd to coach, or do you think they want Jason Kidd because they think he can help lure Giannis here to come with them? And does that matter to you?
I'm going to say 75-25. They got to get the coach right. So, if you bring Giannis over and he doesn't get along with the coach.
Well, no, I'm saying they're saying Giannis loves Kidd. He coached Kidd. He never wanted Kidd to leave. But do you think though this is?
I think Jason Kidd's a better than average coach. So I would not have a problem here coming to the Knicks without Greek Freak.
Okay, that's my question.
He's top 3.
Question.
Do you want my top 2 real quick?
Give me your top 2.
My top guy. And I know a lot of people out there, media and fans, say college coaches have been terrible in the NBA. Well, the college game is getting closer to today's NBA, in my opinion. And I want to bring a physical head coach over. He's your rival in college, Kurt, but you'd learn to love him in the Knicks. Bring Danny Hurley over. The Lakers wanted him for a reason. The Lakers obviously felt he could coach LA. He didn't want to move his family out to LA. I
Yep. He's an
respected
East
the hell
Coast
out of
guy.
that. He stayed with UConn, but we know his dad's a legend in New Jersey.
Yep.
He could be the Knicks head coach to bring a championship here. He could be a legend forever. He would be my top choice, and I think he'd bring a physical type of team. Like, he would coach physicality. Like, he would teach that part of the game to the players. And my second one, Kurt, I got this from the WFAN in New York. I got it from Evan Roberts, another coach. He's only got 2 years left on his contract. But if he says, let me see if you can get it real quick. I'm just going to describe. If he goes to his organization and
He's
says,
a
hey,
college coach?
no, NBA, done it all. Players are starting to get older now.
Steve Kerr.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't know if he's going to want to stay in Golden State after the 2 years. Steph's getting near retirement. They're probably going to go in a rebuild type of direction soon. Is he going to want to stay there? Maybe Steve Kerr, the Knicks ask for permission to talk to Steve Kerr, and they get granted because, the Warriors respect that he won championships there, and they don't want to have bad blood in his last 2 years there. So maybe he goes on the move.
The guy I really like, and already they said no, is Udoka from Houston. I just think that
I know. I like him too.
That guy is, you talk about attitude. I don't think he gives a, who's who. He's going to discipline players. He's going to get you to play hard. And look what he did to the Houston Rockets, right? I mean, they were terrible. Look what he did. So I like that. I do like Jason Kidd. I think it is important that you get a coach that, again, I'm not going to say your star has to approve or whatever, but listen, Kidd coached Brunson already. They have a good relationship. Brunson likes him. Brunson's a point guard. I mean, Kidd's a point guard like Brunson. You said you don't want a defensive coach. I mean, Kidd sees the floor. He's one of the best offensive players ever, point guards. So I have no problem. With Kidd. Kidd, Udoka. Listen, a guy I don't like, a guy I'm not a fan of. Like, I didn't like him because they were rivals. Eric Spoelstra. I mean, listen, here's my thing now, Kenny. We're at a point where we are so close to, it's the closest we've ever been to a championship since probably 94, right? We can't leave any stone unturned. We can't. We got to listen. Like you said, let's check on Steve Kerr. Let's check on Spoelstra.
Udoka.
Udoka. What's the worst they could do? Okay, no, we're not
interested,
or we're not going to permit you to talk. But listen, we have the there's nobody that's going to turn around now and say, we don't have the roster. You guys don't. I mean, think about it. Right now, without a head coach, Kenny, you have the second best odds, and you're tied with Indiana for next year to get to the championship, and you have the second best odds in the NBA to win the championship. So you got the roster. So it's not anymore, I'm not going to go coach over there. Here's the thing. Who's got the balls to do it? Because I'll tell you this right now, Kenny, I'm going to tell you this right now. You're walking in, and if you don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals next year, you failed. So here's the thing. But if you win it, you're legendary. You're the guy that does it. So, I think that's what it's going to come down to. Like a guy like Steve Kerr, does he really want to do it? Right? Like Steve Kerr has so much more to lose than gain, in my opinion. Right? A guy like Jason Kidd, what is Jason Kidd ever? Jason Kidd been to finals, but he never won anything. Now, I've always said this, the guy who comes, and that's why when we get to Giannis, Kenny, the guy that comes and puts you over the top, you're just legendary and you're in a different category.
Yeah.
Sorry, you are. It's like you are.
Let's get to I got Eddie Murphy saying.
Oh, Kenny, you cut out. I don't know if you hear me or not. So while Kenny cut out, Jody Moncrief is asking, saying, "Are you guys okay if you get Michael Malone?" Um, I wouldn't be against it. Again, he's a champion. He's won a championship. He's coached great players, obviously, with Jokic and stuff like that. So I am not against. I am not against that. He's not my first choice, but I would not be against Michael Malone if that's the case. Jody's also saying, "So close yet so far away." Eddie is saying, going back to Eddie Murphy, Knicks need to run it back. We'll put Hart back on the bench. That has to happen. He can never, again, spot start. Yes. He can't be our starter. Josh Hart is a great come in 30, 35 minutes, change the pace of the game, change the energy. Hey, we're starters are down. Get in there. Let's go. That's what he is. He shouldn't be a starter playing 45 minutes, 46 minutes. He shouldn't. He's not a starter. Eddie, great point. If you rely on Shamit, something is wrong with you. LOL. Again, I don't want to rely on Shamit. I need my bench. And when Kenny comes back, I want to get into this, but I don't need our bench to play 30, 40 minutes. If I'm playing my bench 30, 40 minutes, I have major problems. Why am I playing my bench 40 minutes if I'm paying my starters 40 million, 50 million? That can't happen. That can't happen. The starter should be playing more minutes. If not, we have a major problem. So do we have to upgrade the bench? Yes. But I don't want my bench playing, 40 minutes a night. That shouldn't happen.
Kurt, I'm back, right?
Okay, you're back.
I'm sorry about that. I disconnected myself with the cords here. They got
okay, not a problem.
I'm going to answer Mike Malone if you don't mind. I heard you talking before I got disconnected. Thinking about it, Kurt, makes sense. Michael Malone to the Knicks. Tibbs gets fired. Michael Malone got fired during the playoffs, right before the playoffs. But he's always had Jokic, a scoring center. He's always had a point guard, Murray. He might be I would not have any issues with Mike Malone coming over. Maybe that's why the Knicks were like, oh, if we don't win a championship, Malone's out there. Maybe we go get Mike Malone. It would not surprise me, Jody, if we get Mike Malone. I'm not totally against it. He's not.
Yeah, me too. I'm not against
it. It's not my favorite, but I'm not against it. He's won a championship, so he's bringing that to the.
Kenny, let me ask you this one. Question I asked Hoops last night.
I would be okay with this too, Roy, by the way. I'm not a Knicks fan, but I think it comes down to Kidd and Kerr.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. I wouldn't mind that either. There's our good friend Patrick saying aloha, boys. What's up, Patrick?
What's up, Patrick? Aloha, my friend. Got a little Knicks show tonight.
Here's my question for you. Leon Rose, again, whether it's Dolan and Leon Rose, whoever made the decision, is this Leon Rose's last head coach hire as the Knicks general manager? If it doesn't work
in the next 2 years, yes, because Leon Rose is going to be gone.
That's what I'm saying. Should he, I'm just throwing this out there. He hires Mike Malone. We get losing the second round.
He gets a second year. Yeah, he gets a second year.
No. Okay, but I'm saying, but Leon Rose can't change again.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm with you on that.
Are we moving on to the next part of the show, or are we still on coaches? I'll give you a couple names, Kurt, that we didn't mention, and you say yes or no. Thomas Bryant, just a quick yes or no.
Johnny Bryant?
Oh, Johnny Bryant, rather. Thomas Bryant's on the
Pacers. You know what? I like Johnny Bryant. I'm going to tell you this.
Concerning, though, he didn't get the Suns job.
No, I don't think it's concerning. I just think that Johnny Bryant is I think he's going to be one of the next good coaches in this NBA. So I would not, again, he's not my first choice. Listen, here, Kenny, I'm going to be honest with you. I want Kidd if they can get Giannis. Yeah. And I'm on this Giannis thing. I'm going to be honest. So listen, we got to, as much as it's a coach thing and coaching matters, the players, it's going to come down to the players too, right? I mean, we looked last night, Carlisle, and again, I know I bust Carlisle. Carlisle does a nice job there. But Carlisle right now has no answer in this series. He doesn't because they're not as good as OKC. He has no answer.
No,
So,
no.
it can help a little, but we got to get the player. So that's why I want Kidd.
Jody, I will disconnect myself permanently with Doc Rivers. You got to throw your 2 cents in on Doc Rivers, Kurt.
You know what? Why? Tell me why.
You could think.
Let
Does
me
he get
ask you
along
this.
with Greek Freak?
Let me ask you this. Did he win in a big market?
Yeah.
He was a Knick. He's a feisty Knick. I know all people. He blew 3-1 leads. Listen, he's got a championship pedigree, right? Again, I'm not putting him on list number 1, but you want Doc Rivers or Johnny Bryant?
Johnny Bryant.
Me too.
Yeah.
Mike Malone or Doc Rivers?
Mike Malone.
Budenholzer or Doc Rivers?
That's tough. You had to throw that name out there. I'm going.
He's out there, right? He's out there.
You know what I'm doing? I'm going Budenholzer. He won it with Greek Freak. You want to bring Greek Freak here? He won it with Greek Freak.
True.
I got one more name for you. The name that nobody's really talked about too much. I think he's a decent coach, Kurt, but I don't know if he can handle the big market. Jenkins, the former Memphis Grizzly coach. Taylor Jenkins.
I heard somebody yesterday say that he's I'm sorry. Who's the coach now? The Minnesota coach. Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Finch. They're talking about him.
Finch. They said he's the most respected NBA coach, which is shocking. Jenkins, no.
I don't think he can do the big market.
That's a gamble. That you're gambling. Like Eddie's saying, I don't see the Knicks getting a first-time head coach when it's championship or bust.
I don't either. But Johnny Bryant has ties with the Knicks.
Right. He's different.
But yeah, that's the only one different.
He's different.
And that's, I think, why you're only seeing his name on the list of
candidates. And again, Johnny Bryant is going to be on every list in the NBA because of, his background, his assistant, his relationships with like Donovan Mitchell loves him. And like, that's, I think that's a little different.
Kurt, I want to do this. You want to move on? We got
let's move on.
Some big names now that Shams said it and a few others. This is going to be a huge offseason for trades. The Knicks are going to be in the mix for some of these trades. Let's talk the top guy on the list. We've been talking about him, Kurt, and that's Greek Freak. I know you want to bring him over. I would bring him over at almost any cost.
Any cost. Almost
any cost.
Any cost.
Yeah. And I'm with you. I'm hearing a lot. And I would do this in a second. The Bleacher Report just projected one, made a projection out there. Karl Anthony Towns and Dadier for Greek Freak. I would meet him at the airport and welcome him if that was the trade.
Kenny, here's what I'm going to say.
That's all it took.
See, I think it's going to be a little more like that. A little bit more. But I'm at all costs. I said it last week when we did this show. He is not only because he's the best player in basketball, Kenny. He is exactly what this team needs: fiery, aggressive, a down low scorer. But I'm going to tell you this: I actually got on the fan the other day with WFA, and I was on the phone with Brandon Tierney. And I'm just going to throw a scenario out. What if the Knicks don't want it to be Karl Anthony Towns? Because can they go Brunson at point, Karl Anthony Towns at the 4, Greek Freak at the 5? Now, you get yourself a knockdown shooter to play the 2. Doesn't have to be a $30 million guy. A knockdown shooter. And now your wing, again, so when you look at that, again, so Josh Hart, Mitch, OG, Bridges, right? All that somewhat combination. You're not going to give that all up, but a lot of two of those guys. If you kept Towns, now if you have Towns and Greek Freak as your 4 or 5, that's the best front court in the NBA.
By far.
Nothing even compares to that, right?
No.
Okay, nothing even compares to that. So now you need a 2 and a 3. I was watching OKC the other night. I can't even tell you half these, like, they're bringing this guy in, that guy in, that. What are they doing? Jumping around, playing defense, shooting a 3. There's a lot of cheap guys in the NBA that I can get to do that.
Oh, I got some names for you.
Kenny, I might have guys, like you're saying, we might have Dottier on the bench that could do that. We don't really know. But I'm saying if you do that, so one of those guys will be back, right? So say it is, or hey, Deuce McBride slides into the 2. If I had Brunson, Greek Freak, and Towns, because you know why? Teams might look and say, people might say, oh, well, the Bucks want picks. I don't truly believe the Bucks want picks. But if the Bucks do want some kind of picks, then hey, if I'm the Spurs, like they were saying, isn't Mikal Bridges a perfect guy for the Spurs? They'll give you 2 or 3 number 1 picks from Mikal Bridges.
Washington Wizards.
Right. All those guys, right? They'll give you picks.
Charlotte.
They'll give you picks if you want picks. So, it's not like, I don't believe, like Eddie said, oh, we don't have any picks. Listen, I can move
always work
OG.
trades.
I can move OG for picks. I can move Mitch for picks. I can move Josh Hart for picks. I can move Bridges for picks. I can move all these guys for picks if I had to. But I can tell you this, like, how many teams, like when people are like, well, Brooklyn, if I'm Milwaukee, what do I want from Brooklyn? Right? If I'm giving you OG Anunoby, Bridges, like, at least you got guys that can play right now.
Yeah.
Like, Brooklyn's got nothing. The Spurs don't want to give up any good players. Spurs are going to give up Castle, or the Spurs are going to give up, Fox. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, you're not just going to add this guy with end of the, they want legit talent, right? Like Mikal Bridges, and this is why we could flip Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is making $23 million. He's got an extension that's probably going to get him into $30 million. He is one of the best 3-and-D guys, two-way players in basketball. I could easily flip him for something that I want. OG, I can flip. Mitch, not that I don't want to do that, but I'm saying is, Kenny, let me ask you this. Would you rather we could get Greek Freak, would you rather keep Towns with him, or would you rather move Towns and say keep OG?
You're going to laugh. I'm keeping OG, and I'm going to give Towns up.
Okay.
For Greek Freak. Because then Greek Freak's in the middle. I got OG playing defense. I keep Bridges playing defense. They get Towns. You don't have to give up much more besides Towns. Maybe, I'm going to throw a name out there because, I truly think one of these 2 guys is going to have to go in a Greek Freak trade. And that's either Josh Hart or Deuce McBride. I got players that I did my homework. I got some players that are free agents. And when we talk free agents available in a free agent signing, cheap veteran free agents to replace Josh Hart and Deuce McBride. A couple hellos I want to get into. Carson, our co-host and good friend, saying hello. Keith's here saying hello. He's joking around saying Bronny James, big name signing. He's got a question. I'll get to that. Eddie Murphy's got a question. We'll get to that. Okay. Eddie Murphy's actually got 2 questions, Kurt. I want to do this real quick. I'm going to fix the roster with you real quick in a Greek Freak trade.
Okay.
All right. Who do you want to, it's going to be Karl Anthony Towns. There's going to be a 3rd team involved in like Washington or somebody else, and they'll get some draft picks. They'll move their names out. Like Chris Middleton may get moved or what's the other guy I'm thinking? Brogdon may get moved to like Milwaukee. But I got a couple players. Who would you rather give up, Hart or McBride, if you had to give one up in a Greek Freak trade? Because I got the replacement for them on our bench.
I'll give up McBride.
McBride? All right. So a couple guys I got for you, Kurt, to take the McBride role on the bench. You ready?
Yep.
Malik Beasley.
Yes.
Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
Dennis Schroeder.
Yes.
Chris Paul,
Yep.
and Seth Curry.
He's last.
Deeper on the bench. Yeah, let's take him off that list. I got one name for you and
I
one
listen.
name only.
I'll take. I wouldn't be against Seth Curry, but I don't know if I would make him like he's my first guard off the bench. But I would
Right.
keep him. Yes.
Okay. And then one guy and one guy only. If we were to trade Josh Hart to Milwaukee for Greek Freak, or if he's in a trade for somebody else down the line, I want one guy and one guy only to replace Josh Hart. Bobby Portis.
I love him. I love Bobby Portis.
Yep.
I love Bobby. See, Kenny, here's the thing, right? Like, I'm going to be honest. I think the Knicks are in such a good situation because the way honestly, the way we're constructed right now, we're a championship contender, right? Like, I am not downgrading. Like, Giannis and KD, those are the only guys, like, I'm not going to use the word blow it up because I don't think we're blowing it up at all. Like, I'm really going to make changes on this roster for. Other than that, like I said, Jackson from like Memphis, I'm not trading Cat for, like, I'm not. I'm not. But Giannis, I'm doing anything I got to do to get him. I'm a KD guy. You know that, Kenny.
Yep.
Again, if he's interested and we're interested and they said they made an offer, I got to do something like that. But other than that, let me ask you this. If you can't get Giannis, you can't get KD. Would you be opposed to bringing back this starting lineup? And I don't mean I mean starting lineup. I mean, okay, we could put Mitch in and Cat goes to the 4 and Josh Hart comes out. But if we run it back with a little tweaks on the bench, would you be opposed to that?
No,
With a new
and
head coach?
real quick, I got 3 questions in the queue, guys. So we are going to get to your questions in a second, those who asked some questions. No, I'm not against it, but Kurt, I got some names here that I think I would be very happy with. You know, like I said, Josh Hart, Deuce McBride is probably going to be mentioned in one of these in these trade talks with any trade we make. The other big name was Durant. Do you want? But I got some names for you, Kurt.
Yes,
And I know you like a couple of these names, and then we'll get to Durant. First one, lots of injury problems in the past. He's even got an off the court allegation against him right now. But if that gets dismissed, would you make a trade for one Zion Williamson?
Yep. I love, you know me.
And I think you can get him for like a Josh Hart, maybe that I would give up an OG Anunoby for Zion. Like an OG and maybe a Tyler Kolek, a
Kenny, I
Dottier.
said this about Zion. You know why I would do it for him? Because I think he's got potential to be the best player in the NBA. He's unguardable. Nobody can guard him. He's absolutely unguardable in the post. So would I make a move for him? Yes, I would.
Put him at the 4? Yeah.
I would. Yes.
All right. 2 more. One, Jody said, can you please trade for Michael Porter Jr.?
No, I want no part of Michael Porter. Not at that contract. No way. No.
And the last one's interesting, Kurt, because it would probably mean moving Cat to the 4. You know, I think it would take like an OG Anunoby / like maybe like again the young guys, either Kolek, Dottier, Domantas Sabonis. If we didn't have Karl Anthony Towns, I would say go get Sabonis, but I'm not gonna mess around with Sabonis. Ain't really an upgrade from Towns for me.
No,
so.
I'm not doing that.
No, I would stay away from that one too. Yeah, so there was some names, Kurt. I want to hit these questions real quick. You want to hit these like quick hitter style?
Yep.
All right, let's see what I want to go with first here. Keith, our good friend Keith Brugman, Denver Bronco Roundup. What's up, Keith? Hope you're having a good night. Was it the roster or the situation, Kurt, that had the Knicks losing to the Pacers?
I think both. A little of both, Kenny. I mean, I'm sorry. You just player for player, the Knicks are better than the Pacers. They didn't step up. Players didn't, and even Jalen Brunson, he didn't play his best in that series. So I'm going to say both.
I agree. I'm going to go a little more on the situation though, because I mean a little more on the roster because it wasn't deep. You know, the Knicks always had that deep roster. And last year we got hurt, and then this year we really there's nobody to come off the
But Kenny,
bench when they got in when somebody's in foul trouble. There's nobody to come off the bench to.
but here's what I want to mention this about this, okay? And I want you to agree or disagree. Okay. Again, something else me and Hoops have been talking a lot of Knicks lately, right? But do we have to upgrade the bench? Yes. Okay. Do we have to expand our bench, whether it's Kolick, Dadier, Hakporti? Do they have to play? Yes.
The
But
Shamet,
let me ask you something. I'm not paying a guy $50 million
no,
sit on the bench. I'm not paying my forward OG Anunoby $39 million to sit on the bench. I'm not paying Brunson. And these guys got to play, right? Like, now, I don't want them playing 44 minutes, but I'm saying is the bench didn't blow a 17-point lead, right? Like, if anything,
but
the starters are always in a hole. Like, I'm sorry. And in an ideal world, when this happens, whatever, we come back, we get our bench next year and we fix it. And I'm in a championship, I'm in the finals. Hey, starters, get us the F home. We're not going to the bench. I don't want the bench. Let me ask you something.
But there's a but.
Let me ask you something. Have you watched the finals?
Yes.
Does Pascal Siakam have 39 points combined in 2 games? Mm-hmm. He did it in game 1 versus us. He had 40 points against OG Anunoby. I'm sorry, not good enough. So I want to upgrade our bench, but I'm not paying a $39 million for OG Anunoby to not be on the court, because then move him and trade him. Same thing with Cat. Same thing with Bridges. So I'm sorry. If I'm paying you top dollar, the balls are going to be in your hands when the game's on the line. Otherwise, why am I paying you? That's how I feel.
But when you're up 17, that should be defense coming in to stop.
Okay, well, let me ask you something. Give me the Pacers starting lineup.
Halliburton, Nembhard, the Neesmith.
Yep.
Turner.
And Siakam. Okay. And we had Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Towns, and whether it's Josh Hart or Mitch, however you want to say it. Look at our salaries and look at theirs. Look at the talent we got and look at theirs. What it should have been in that series is Knicks up 12. Pacers got to go to their bench. Okay, our bench, your bench. I'll even give you your benches. I'll even give you benches better. Okay, we get it. All right, the Pacers get it to 6. Put the starters back in, back up to 14. But that's what it should have been. Our starters didn't beat their starters.
No.
I don't want to hear about their bench. I really don't. Our starters lost to their starters. We got outplayed by their starters. Like Bridges got outplayed by Neesmith. Anunoby got outplayed by Siakam. They did. There's no doubt about that. That's just that's proof. That can't happen. Can't happen.
The problem I had, and that's why Tibbs is gone, in my opinion. Blowing that lead, you and I both said it. We've coached, we coached football, we've coached recreation basketball. You're up that many points. Let them hit a layup. There's not enough time for them to hit layups.
No, I agree, but I'm saying I think though.
So it falls on the coaching, but it also falls on the players. They're not playing defense. Anunoby's in for defense. He's not playing defense. But
right, but
Towns and Brunson aren't known for defense. Get a couple guys off the bench to play defense to make a couple stops and win the game by 5 points.
But what I'm saying is, game 1 goes right down to the wire. Game 2, you're down 3, down 1, right down to the wire. You're going to tell me game 1 and game 2, you didn't want the start. Like the starters shouldn't be like, I don't want my bench guys in there. I don't care who's on my bench.
Last 2 minutes. No.
Right. So But what I'm saying is, so that like all these people that are saying the bench, like, does the bench have to get upgraded? Yeah, like it has to get upgraded. But the bench isn't gonna solve the problem of Mikal Bridges has to be, if he's back next year, a legit starting two guard, earning his money, and he has to make clutch plays. He can't be on the bench in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. The same thing with OG Anunoby. I'm not going to go and say I want to take this guy off the bench to go guard. Like, I'm paying you $40 million to be the best defender in the league. You got to guard Pascal Siakam. I shouldn't have to double him. I mean, if not, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
That's my attitude with this. Everyone like the bench, the bench, the bench. Yes, we have to up the butt. We're not going to win it. You don't win a championship by just playing your bench. Like, your bench players for a reason. Like I'm saying, we should have been destroying the Pacers starters. It should have been Knicks up 12, bring in the bench. It wasn't like that. We were always down. We were down. We had to get our bench to come bring it back. We had to get Galan Wright and Shamit to, like, all right, bring it back. Like, that's crazy. Crazy. You can't lose to the Pacers like that. That's the thing.
I think I lost you again.
You hear me? I hear you now.
You got me?
I hear you, yeah.
Okay. No, I heard what you're saying, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I mean, I don't want them in with a minute left, but when you're up 17, put your defensive team in.
Kenny, it's different if, like a Josh Hart and a Dante DiVincenzo, right? Like last year, or a Hart and stuff. Like, that's different. Okay, I'm going to play DiVincenzo's hot today. I'll sit him Bridges. But I can't play Landry Shamit over Mikal Bridges. I mean, I just look foolish. Like, what am I paying this guy for? Like, come on. OG Anunoby.
There's situations, though, like if you're up 14 and with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter in football, are you not putting, like, you're on offense? Aren't you running the ball?
I understand what you're saying.
So I'm saying defense should have been in the game up 17. Not saying everybody. I'm not saying bring the end of your bench in, but maybe Deuce McBride should have been in.
Right.
And players like that. But in that situation, I would have had Mitch in. They foul him. I'll take a shot. I'll take my chances with Mitch.
No, I understand your point, but it's not like, my bench is going to be closing out games. I mean, if your bench is closing out games, you have serious problems, because then what are your starters, right? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not paying Karl Anthony Towns $50 million to go sit on the bench. I mean, that's an issue. It's an issue. It should never be like that. Again, one guy, okay, I'm going to put Josh Hart. Like, Josh Hart is Josh Hart is a legit probably starter in the NBA, right? He's like a fringe starter off the bench. I like him off the bench, but he could start on teams and the thing. But I'm not playing Landry Shamit, any of these guys, like any of these teams. Like, you're paying your starters because that's what they are. They're your starters.
Yeah.
So,
this Alex. Thank you.
Let me ask you something, Kenny. The Indiana Pacers, who do they close games with?
Halliburton.
They're starters, right? I mean,
they're starters. Most of their starters, yeah.
Did Golden State play the bench guys when they were? They played their guys.
But I will say this: depending on the situation, Shepard's going to be in there for defense. Sometimes when you're up big, you got to go with your defensive guys so you don't get that offensive burst.
Right. Offense, but I'm not playing him if there's no timeout.
No, absolutely not.
Right.
Question from Alex. He joined earlier. I want to get it in. What's up, Alex? Thanks for hanging out with us. When we were talking about some players, Kurt, would it make sense to go get Bruce Brown, Gary Trent, or Gary Payton?
Yes, I've always wanted that.
Yes, on all three of them.
Yeah. I love Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown, 100%. I would love to have him come off the bench.
You saw what he did when Denver won. I mean, how many big shots did he make? And I love him. He doesn't listen, he's not going to be like, oh my God, I can't handle New York. That's not going to happen with him. Play multiple positions. I like him.
Yep. Or he's saying, how about DeAndre Ayton from Portland?
Yeah.
Another good one. A
Absolutely.
couple more. Razul saying salute the chat.
Stop.
That's up, Razul. Thanks for hanging out with us again, and of course our chat as well. Guys, throw questions at us. We got our little agenda
See,
here, but
Anthony Mataloni has a great point. And listen, it's just it was just a bad situation because again, if they had Hartenstein,
that
listen,
was my guy.
we got Hartenstein on a great deal, but because of the way the CBA is, because of the way that deal is, we couldn't sign him. Like we were only allowed to give him certain money. And I mean, how can he was like
Oklahoma's giving him a lot more. How do you know?
right, he
How do you
was
turn that down?
tripling the money. We couldn't give him the money because we weren't allowed. The Knicks would have done it. It's just we weren't allowed because of the way they didn't have his bird rights and the way when we signed him for the contract we gave him, it backfired to us because we were only limited to give him a certain amount of money.
Eddie wants to know what happened to Precious. Well, he's going to be a free agent, and unfortunately, I think he's not coming back.
I just don't understand. Eddie's right. Like I don't understand how Siakam is just eating up everybody on, including OG, and like Precious can't get.
You don't take
like,
a chance. You don't take a chance and see.
Precious
We
can't
saw
get a
what
couple
Wright
minutes
did
on
to
him.
O'Connell.
Just totally shut McConnell down. Totally shut him down. Right? Totally shut McConnell down.
Yeah.
Right?
You got to take chances, and that's why. Again, this goes back to the beginning of the show. Probably why Tibbs got himself. One of the many reasons why Tibbs got fired.
Yeah.
Alex wants to know how does he follow? He loves Knicks talk. On Facebook, it's the K&K Sports Show, Alex, and we're going to be doing more of these Knicks shows. But we do a regular show on Wednesday. We talk all sports, and we have some other ones too. So the K&K Sports Show on Facebook or YouTube, you can catch us there as well.
Facebook and YouTube.
Facebook mostly, Razul. We're on Kick, and Twitch, but we really don't post too much on there. So
YouTube and
Facebook and YouTube would be the top two. And thanks,
Kenny,
guys, for
let
asking.
me throw you this one now, Kenny. So, is there any other player, like I know Giannis, KD, is there another player out there? I mean, you can't say like Luka Doncic, like a player that potentially can get moved that you would be like, I'm going to shake up the roster for this guy.
If the allegations are dropped with the guy in New Orleans, Zion, I'm taking a chance with him.
Yeah.
I've seen it in the past. He's hurt in this. He's just got a bad situation in New Orleans. I think if he came to a team like New York, a bigger market.
I think he's always wanted to be here too. Like they said how depressed he was when they didn't get the number 1 pick. That's a good one from Alex, Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
See, I'm an Anthony Davis fan. And you know what? I know he gets hurt, yada, yada, but look at like what he was doing. Like even the game he got hurt when he got traded, it was like 22 and 14 and a half. I mean, the guy is a difference maker. Would you take Anthony Davis or Karl Anthony Towns?
I'm not as big at Anthony Davis. Don't get me wrong. The guy's super talented, but you want to talk about a guy who's always hurt too, and it's Anthony Davis. So I'd rather have Karl Anthony Towns over Davis. I got a name for you. We're talking about a team that might be in a rebuild mode. Devin Booker. You give them Bridges. You trade an offense for defense now.
Kenny, I would do it. I mean, I think that's the guy. I mean, honestly, I think that's the guy that Leon Rose has always wanted.
I know.
Right? I mean, CAA guy. I think that's the guy he's always wanted. I don't think they're going to do it just because he's young. I think, I don't know. I don't think they're going to do it, but I would do it for him. I mean, now here's the thing. People were complaining about, oh, you're going to have a small backcourt if it was Donovan Mitchell with Brunson, like it was with a couple years ago with the rumors. But, is it a small backcourt? But I'm rolling the dice with that. If I have Brunson and Booker, I mean, that's the best backcourt in basketball.
And then we talked about it earlier. You can
talk about shooting.
You can get some veterans.
Right.
If you tried to trade Bridges or if Josh Hart's in that deal, Deuce McBride, you got players you could bring in veterans that are free agents. Malik Beasley, Dennis Schroeder, Bobby Portis. You can bring in players like that.
Yeah.
And if you need to go offense, defense, there's your bench. Your defense comes off the bench, and you got
Yeah.
your offensive guys. In what a three that would be, huh? Brunson, Booker, and Towns.
I got one more for you. So would you say
Oh,
we're
and Alex is saying played with Cat. So that's
yeah, very
yeah,
true.
that's a good move.
Kentucky.
Yep.
Kenny, would you say we're championship or bust or championship window right now?
When you say championship or bust, it's going to be it's got to be in the next 3 years. You got to get to a
Okay, right.
championship in the
So
next two, and you got to win one in the next three.
all right. So would you say though we're in our legit championship window starting this season?
Absolutely.
Okay. So would you feel comfortable? I guess here's my question. Bench wise, would you feel comfortable of Tyler Kolek, Dadier, Huck Porty? Like, do you want those guys to be your backup point guard, your first, wing off the bench, your first backup center off the bench? Or do you, hey, I still want to develop you, or I want to, I like you, but because I'm in a championship window, I need a Chris Paul, a Bobby Portis.
Right.
How do you want to go from that?
Well, that's a great question, because I do have our free agents. Okay, Kurt. So I'm just going to tell you who's not signed with the Knicks right
But I'm
now.
just saying your philosophy of how do you like?
Because you said Huck Porty, he's a free agent. I'm moving on. I'm Huck Porty. You got Mitch there. You got Cat. I'm okay. I want to bring in a player, the veterans, like you just said. I want to bring in a Bobby Portis. I want to bring in a Dennis Schroeder that are going to know where their roles are. They come off the bench, spell the starters. If a starter was to go down for a couple games, they could fill in as a starter. That's what I want from these guys. And I would love Bobby Portis, Malik Beasley, and/or Dennis Schroeder. Those are the three guys. I saw with the Pistons was they were physical. You bring over one or two or both in Beasley and Schroeder, they're going to be physical. And we know Bobby Portis is physical. So that's what I want from my bench. Physicality, and getting all three is going to be hard, but if you can get me one of those three or two of those three.
So there's no way in the world, there's no way in Kenny Kirkpatrick's world that you're putting listen, I'm gonna put Joey DeLuca's comment up. That's what I want. That's what I want. That is exactly I want that. I'm telling you, I called Brandon Tierney the other day and I said, I want Giannis, but I want to keep Cat with him. Cat at the 4, Giannis at the 5, Brunson at the point guard. And you know what? Let's go. I mean, I got to fill in a wing because listen, that package is going to go. But I guess my question is, Kenny, there's no way in your world like you're rolling with Tyler Kolek as your backup point guard. You need a veteran.
You need a veteran. You're in a championship window. You need a veteran, and there's veterans out there.
Okay.
Dennis Schroeder, Chris Paul, if he's not retiring, Russell Westbrook. I'm bringing one of those three over cheap. They're going to want to win a championship. And when you look at the East and the East is less top heavy than the West. You got a better chance of getting to the finals with the Knicks than a team out West.
I like this. The one thing I did like what Tibbs did, I think he did it in game 6. Well, he did a little in game 5 and he did a little bit in game 6. Right? Just say you bring in like a Chris Paul or you bring up, like you said, one of your point guards, a Schroeder, right? I don't mind playing Brunson off the ball a little bit.
Right.
It's not like he's only going to play when Brunson's out, because now, like, that's almost kind of like a rest of Brunson, but he's still in the game. Like, you don't have to bring it up. He's not getting pressured.
Yeah, and that was asked earlier by Eddie Murphy.
Right. I like that idea. I'm not saying I got to do it a lot.
It is, Kurt.
Yeah, but that's my option, right? Like, he did it, and he had Bridges bringing up the ball, but I loved it. But I'm telling you, Joey DeLuca, man, give me that. Give me Cat, JB, and Giannis. Listen to me. Go find me a shooter to play at the 2. Hey, if Deuce is still on the roster, Deuce can play the 2 spot. If I got to move Bridges and give me one of my athletic wings, and let's go.
Let's hit this one from Alex. Do you think you can get KD, Kevin Durant, without trading Towns, Kurt?
Um, yeah, because I don't know if the Phoenix is again like Phoenix, you know, Bridges has a nice contract, right? Like that's the thing about Bridges, and all these like teams are in love with these 3-and-D wing guys. Oh, it could shoot the ball, shoot the three, play defense, and yeah, I mean, he's making $23 million. He ain't making $50 million. His extension's probably going to make him in the $30 million. So yeah, I could see a Phoenix team. Listen, Phoenix loved him. I mean, Phoenix just traded him because they wanted the KD deal. So they kind of did what we're trying to look
That'd
to
be
do.
funny. Another KD for
Yeah.
Bridges deal. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty funny.
So, but I like it. I'm telling you, I want Giannis or KD. That's what I want. I want one of them. Listen, I would take both of them. I don't know if that can happen, but I want one of them because we need and this is no disrespect to Jalen Brunson. Okay, none, because I love Jalen Brunson. And there's probably not anybody I want in the clutch. Ball and game on the line, I want him to do all. But you know what? All game, hey, Giannis, Cat, Giannis. Now game's on the line, go get him, Brunson. I don't need Brunson to shoot 30 times a game with these guys. I don't. But you know what? I do now, right? I did last year when it was Randall and, or whenever 2 years ago, when they're triple and double. You couldn't double and triple team Brunson this year like you did 2 years ago, right? Why? Because you had Anunoby, you had Bridges, you had Cat. Imagine if you get now Giannis. Like Giannis is the guy I want. I told you, Giannis is the guy I want because he don't give a shit. Listen, the comment, who made the comment last week on our show? Halliburton just punked the whole New York City. He did. And we let it happen. But you know what? That will not happen with Giannis on this team.
No,
that
no
will
way.
not happen. I could tell you right now, he won't be dancing and skipping. That won't happen. We let it happen. Shame on us. We let it happen. And you know what? You have a whole year, now a second year because of last year, but you have a whole year to get the respect back. You want to do that? You get a guy like Giannis. I could promise you, when they set a screen on him, Halliburton's on the ground. Promise you. Halliburton dancing to the lane. Listen, he's getting fouled, Xavier McDaniel style.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
So I agree with you. If you right now, if you give me my ideal lineup, you can give me Towns, Brunson, and Giannis. Give me a shooter, move Deuce into the 2 spot. If I have to move Bridges, if I got to move OG, again, I love those guys, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. It's a business, right? As much as we don't love Tibbs and we blame Tibbs, those guys didn't get the job done. We couldn't beat the Pacers. I'm sorry. You couldn't beat the Pacers. You know what? There's consequences. The first consequence was the head coach went. The second consequences is, you know what? I got to get a champion in here. If Giannis wants to come and it's OG, I'm sorry. But you know what?
Anybody but.
But you know what, Kenny?
It's anybody but Brunson.
Kenny, OG got outplayed by Pascal Siakam.
Yep.
I'm sorry. He didn't get it done. Right? If we're in the finals, you know what? Maybe we're not talking about this, but we are because we got beat. We shouldn't have got beat, but we did. So you know what? Hey, Giannis wants to come, and you know what? Giannis, like all these people that always talk about, LeBron and Kobe, and even like, Jordan and KD. Like you never hear Giannis and Giannis, like you want to get up that ladder, man. Listen, you did what you had to do in Milwaukee. You did. Respectfully, you won your championship there, but that window's shut over there. You know what? You want to do, hey, Halliburton's father's running his mouth at you. Just we block Halliburton from ever getting back. You want to fight with the Pacers? Fight with the Pacers at the Garden. And you know what? You be the reason, you be the guy that says, I'm the guy now that got them this title since 73. Let's go.
Let's go. Joey's from Brooklyn. Brooklyn in the house, Kurt.
What's up?
That's Joey. I got a quote. We're from North Jersey. I'm in Maryland now. We're North Jersey boys. Best place for pizza in Brooklyn, Joey, because Kurt and I will have to make a road trip someday and get, because I know Brooklyn has great ones, but I want to
I
know from
actually
somebody
had, I
from
want to
Brooklyn.
say, I don't know if he, I don't know. I've been to I want to say it's Grimaldi's Pizza. Joey
Okay.
hates the Pacers so much. Oh, do I hate the Pacers, Kenny? I can't
Yes.
stand those
Yes.
guys. I
Yep.
can't stand those guys. I can't stand them.
But yeah, I think Luigi's is a popular one in Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken. And I think is the Fara in Brooklyn. I'm not sure. I
I
know.
think I went to Grimaldi's in Brooklyn. That was pretty good too.
Okay. Okay. Let's get a couple more in. Keith had a comment earlier. Where was it? Oh, Alex throwing another name out there. Alexander Walker from Timberwolves is a free agent. I would love him off our bench.
Mm-hmm.
It's another
Yeah.
good name.
Yep.
Uh,
Like that.
Trevor's in here, so I'm going to get to those in a minute. I'm just looking
What's
for
up,
Keats
Trevor?
real quick. Thanks for putting the link
You
up
know
too
what?
for Alex.
Let's throw him back at Trevor real quick.
Well, here real quick, I got Keats real quick.
Go ahead.
Here's my thoughts. This roster is NBA championship capable and ready. I would take this roster all day as a Lakers fan. Get yourself a coach that can get past Indiana and go get a championship.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask Keith this question. Because I agree with him 1,000%. But do you think we have to finish building this roster, Keith? Like last year, we built our roster to beat Boston, right? Why we got Bridges, the Bridges Obi to stop Towns and Brown. So we built that. Do you think we have to either rebuild our roster or finish out building our roster with Indiana specifically, build it to beat Indiana? That's my question for him.
Our good friend and fellow Denver Bronco fan with you, Kurt, Denver Bronco Roundup, Trevor Salzman saying, hello, boys. How can the Knicks improve their depth? It seems like Tibbs got blamed for not playing the bench consistent enough. Personnel-wise, it doesn't seem like there is enough. I can go first on this, Kurt, because we touched on it a little earlier. First thing I think we need, Trevor, is a backup point guard for Brunson. Okay.
Not Deuce McBride.
Not Deuce McBride. And two guys out there. One is from your Nuggets, Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder, Chris Paul come to mind. Second, a pure shooter off the bench. And a guy we mentioned earlier, but I said I'm going to hold it off on it, Kurt. Steph Curry's brother, Seth Curry.
Okay.
Third, I want a physical guy. We brought in PJ Tucker. We never even played him, but I want a guy that's going to play and can come in and start if I need him to start. Bobby Portis. That's what I want on my bench. A shooter, Seth Curry type, a physical guy who's not going to allow Brunson to get attacked by the Pacers. He would have been right in their face. Halliburton would have been on the floor the next series up. And get me a point guard, a veteran, a Westbrook or a
okay. So now let me
Dennis
ask.
Schroeder.
Let me ask this. I'm going to put you right on the spot right here. Okay. To get that, because I love that. I do. I love those.
But okay, before you go, this is going to be my but. If a Josh Hart is included in a trade or a McBride is included in a trade, those are the three guys I'm targeting.
Okay.
The three type of players I'm targeting.
To get those three guys, are you willing, because you know my answer is yes. Are you willing to say, Dadier, Kolek, bye?
Yeah. Bye. Absolutely. Okay. You know, bye. The new coach didn't work in draft with these kids.
Right.
Tibbs didn't play him. Absolutely. I'm saying goodbye.
Right.
A couple more, Kurt. Let's see what we got here. Keith saying Halliburton's holding kryptonite. Well, that's going to change hopefully with the new coach and staff. But he's right now.
He's
gotta
He's
agree
right.
with that. Yeah.
You know what? You can't listen. Nobody can deny that. He's right. He's right.
And you know what? We'll next year we're back on the court. But right now, I tip my cat. You had a game winner in game one. You know, you tip your cap. You
See,
know,
look at the
and that's it.
lineup Joey just put out there. I'm signing up. I'm signing up for that 1,000%, man. That's you give me that lineup. And now, Kenny, now I need another shooter because now if I get another shooter, um, I slide Mitch off. They go to center. Let's go. Let's
Joey's
go.
gonna miss tips.
Yep.
Hopefully
See,
not. Hopefully not when we get somebody, maybe this guy or somebody else. You know,
yep.
we were talking
Kenny,
earlier
real
about the
quick, bring
coach
up Keith's comment where it says,
bench
I get
players.
you want. Yeah. Because I think this makes the most sense too, right? Because, like we're saying, the sixth man, because when crunch time, like I'm Joey threw out that lineup. Just say you have Brunson, Cat, Giannis, just for instance. Those guys better not come out. Right? Those guys better not come out. So, I mean, like he's saying, okay, do I go Josh Hart or am I going Beasley today? Like
Yeah.
that's the coaching decision. So, but but so listen, I'm willing to do it too. Like, again, we have a window. I can't worry about, well, Tyler Kolek could be a starting point guard for the next 10 years. I don't care
No, I
if it
don't care about
doesn't
that.
hurt, if it's not going to help me win a championship in the next 3. It's like if I can move
Was
him to get something that's going to help me do it, I have to. I can't worry about
was
the next point guard.
was Tyler Kolek a lottery pick?
No,
Was he a first round pick?
no,
Exactly.
right,
Exactly.
right,
I'm not worrying about it. If somebody wants Tyler Kolek, I like him, but I'm passing. I'm
right.
handing him. If you want him, he's yours.
Yep.
Keith said you need to change your freezer show to lead box for that kryptonite.
Yeah, I'm going to come up with something for next year. We'll switch it up. We'll switch it up.
There was one more I
It
wanted to
hasn't
hit
worked, right?
you.
We got to switch it up.
Oh, here it is. Trevor had one for you, Kurt, and then we'll start getting our final thoughts. And
Okay.
if you want Giannis or KD, who are you willing to give up in the starting lineup other than Bridges? The price to get Giannis will be very expensive. Only select teams will be in the hunt if he wants out.
Yeah.
I know we both are on the same page with Giannis. Everybody but Brunson in the starting lineup for Giannis. And I may even have to give him like a deuce. So if it's like KD, I mean, if it's Karl Anthony Towns, a couple of the younger guys, Kolek, Dadier. But if it's somebody like OG Anunoby, it might have to be OG Anunoby and Josh Hart for Giannis.
Right. See, here's the thing with Giannis. Like, he's going to, and multiple people have said this. If we're going to get Giannis, he has to come out and tell Milwaukee, I only want to go to New York. And you know what? I mean, if you're Giannis, like, do I really want to go to Houston? Seriously. Like, do I really want to go
Miami,
like to San Antonio?
Miami comes to mind.
Yeah, like listen, Miami would scare me, him going there, because that's something Riley would do. But like, if you think about it, why like, okay, I'm gonna play with Wembanyama, but I mean the Spurs won how many
Wembanyama's
titles?
team.
Right, they won how many titles already? Like, you're going to New York, right? You're going to be with, I mean, you see that atmosphere. You see those the playoff games, like what it's like. You're chasing something now for 52 years, right? Like they haven't found that person to go get that title. Like, so he has to come out and say, I want New York. And if he does, I don't think it's going to be everybody in the starting lineup but Brunson. I don't think it's going to be like that. Remember, salaries have to match both ways. Now, we might have
There'll be a third team involved.
Right. There could be a third team, or like we're going to have to take like Kyle Kuzma back, which listen, trust me, I'll play Kyle Kuzma a couple minutes a game if it gets me.
I'll take Kyle Kuzma off the bench.
But listen, as long as it's not Brunson, again, personally, I'd rather keep Cat. I would love to see a Cat and Giannis front court.
Yeah.
And then but does that mean it's probably going to be OG, Hart?
Might mean Mitch going.
Mitch going. Again, money has to work, right? Or Bridges and listen, I got to do it. I got to do it because a player for him. I mean, he's the best player in basketball, him or Jokic, right? It's one of those two. Guy's a champion. You see what he does. So
And
I'm
I
doing
say
it.
it might mean Mitch going because Milwaukee plays Indiana a lot within their division. So
Right. Right.
when everybody saw what Mitch did to them in the
Yeah.
playoffs. So
Yep.
that's why I feel Mitch could be involved
Yep.
in that trade. But again, everybody's on the block. Everybody's on the table but Brunson. Why I think the point I want to make real quick, Kurt, the reason why I think it's a good chance you may see Giannis, you may see, some of these even free agent names that are on here come to New York. What do we have that we didn't have in the past that nobody wanted to come? A point guard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a point guard is equivalent. I always compare point guard to quarterback in basketball. If you got a point guard, it's the equivalent to having a quarterback, a franchise quarterback in football.
Yep.
And if you got a franchise quarterback, aren't your running backs and wide receivers going to want to play with that franchise
Of
quarterback?
course. Of course.
Giannis may say, "I want New York number one." He
Kenny,
may.
I'm going to throw in a you from Keith Brugman. Impossible. But would you have any interest in LeBron on the Knicks? Any price, he wants one more ring.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Can I?
Not because he's skipped out of New York in the past, and what's going to happen? He's going to want to be. You want him playing with Brunson and being. It's my team, not yours, Jalen. You want that? Because that's what's going to happen.
You know what? I'm going to be
He
honest.
ain't going to play second fiddle to anybody, Kurt. He's arguably he's this generation's best player of all time. We all know, in our opinions, Michael Jordan's the best, but it's LeBron's second. You think he's going to take second fiddle to Brunson? No, by no means am I bringing him here.
All right. Well,
Sorry, and I love the audience's answer on it too.
I'm going to play devil's advocate with this. Okay.
And I know your wife Jenny Hoops probably on my page with it.
Okay.
She ain't bringing him.
Let me throw this at you. If he does come and they win, does 2010 matter anymore that he didn't come to the Knicks?
No, that definitely
doesn't.
I'm
going to ask you a couple of questions. So your answer to that is no. As much as I don't like him as a person, and I don't think he'll ever be Jordan, but would it be ironic if he was the one that came and got New York the title? Does that push him? I mean, there's nothing else he could do. He can't go anywhere to win a title except New York that could say, whoa, look what he did. Now, this is how I would take him. Only under one circumstance. He could get out of the fifth. Now, it's a lot of money. Get out of the money, become a free agent, and sign for a low salary. Because I can't give him the 50-something million dollars. Like, I can't do that and throw it around. But if he was to say, hey, like Keith said, I just want that one more title. I want to do it in New York, and I'm going to take a massive pay cut to do it, then I would take him. I would.
Again, and he's going to want to be the number one guy. It ain't going to be Brunson's
and I can tell you this right now.
LeBron's team.
I could tell you this right now. I would run out tomorrow and get a damn jersey.
I disagree. I disagree, chat. I disagree. It's a great question, Keith, but this is Brunson's team. You just said, I'm not trading anybody for Brunson. He's untouchable. Well, if you bring LeBron here, it's almost like trading because now it's not Brunson's team anymore. Oh my God, LeBron's in Mecca. Oh my God.
Wait a minute. If we get Giannis, whose team is it?
It's close, but it's still Brunson.
Who's the best player?
Giannis.
It's going to be Brunson's team no matter what. Let me ask you, was it
It's going to, but LeBron, the LeBron fans, the LeBron fans are going to start turning on the.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask. Keith's saying I'm blowing him away in a good way or a bad way. But let me ask you this, Keith. Let me ask you this, Kenny.
Thanks, Joey, by the way. He's saying we're all
Yeah.
great. You guys
Thank
are
you,
all great
Joey.
in the
Let me
audience.
ask you this. Whose team was it when Kevin Durant went to Golden State?
It was Curry.
Who was the best player?
That's tough. It could still be Curry.
KD got back-to-back final MVPs.
Yeah.
I mean, see, but I think I don't think Brunson, I think Brunson, this is why Brunson left $130 million on the table to win 100 and over. I think
I
I'm maybe.
think we could talk about this for forever,
No,
but
but
I'm
think
looking
about
at it
this.
this way.
I think Brunson wants to see if Brunson wins a title in New York, he's immortal. And you know what? It's not going to be oh my God, Giannis. The fans are still going to love Brunson for what he is. He's immortal. Immortal. If he does it.
If you
I don't.
bring LeBron to the Knicks, you got fans out there that are.
Kenny, I don't think
as
it
Knicks
matters.
fans, we're the greatest fans out there.
It's not going to matter.
It's not going to matter to the Knicks, faithful, but there's going to be LeBron fans out there that are going to demand that it's LeBron's team now, and you're going to have that. Brunson's going to have that added pressure and all that stuff.
Rick Pitino said this in his special shows that he had. You play for this. This is what matters. The front. It's not about this. It's about this. If whoever's in a New York jersey, I'm rooting for him. I don't care who it is. I don't. And whoever's not, I'm not rooting for him. I didn't root for Ewing when he went to Seattle. I didn't root for Starks when he went to Golden State. I didn't. Because they're not. I love them. They're part. Listen, they're Knicks now. But then you're not a Knick that time. You're not a Knick.
I'm trying to think of a good comparison, and there's really not, because you're not really a baseball fan. You don't have a team.
Where if Dak Prescott was my quarterback, if Lamar Jackson was the Bronco quarterback, I'm going out and buying a jersey. It's not who I want, but I'm buying a jersey. I rooted for Teddy Bridgewater. I didn't want him, but I rooted for him.
So
there's no player I would never want. That's not never want, never root for. That's never. I will never do. You'll never.
So I got one for you. So let's say a few years down the road, this is just hypothetical, everybody. This is never in a million years going to happen. But here's my hypothetical at Kurt Valenti, because I want to put him on the spot right now. 40-year-old Pat Mahomes comes a free agent. The Chiefs get their next franchise quarterback, Pat Mahomes the fourth. The original Pat Mahomes the second comes to Denver and is now in a battle with Bo Nix for the starting job. And Bo Nix has been your starter now for 5 years.
Yep.
6 years. You're welcoming You're welcoming Pat Mahomes come in to fight for the starting job with Bo Nix.
Why not?
You don't think it's going to cause, bad chemistry on your team?
No.
When you got your franchise quarterback?
I mean,
you got your franchise point guard. You bring in LeBron, it's going to cause oil and water. It's going to be oil and water.
I disagree.
But hey, we got a good friend, Michael Ronquillo, chiming in saying good evening, Kurt and Kenny. What's up, Michael? Clayton, hey, guys. Another one coming in. What's up, Clayton? Here you go. Colin Kaepernick as the Denver Bronco quarterback. Rooting for him, Kurt?
Rooting for him? Listen, is he talking because
rooting
he's
for the Broncos, but not him?
Wait. Is he? I guess he's talking about.
He got you here.
No. I guess he's talking about because he's not standing for the national anthem, right? Yeah, I'm rooting for him. Listen to me. He's a jerk off. We could call whatever he is, but when he's on the field, let me ask you something. You're a Yankee fan, right? You're a Yankee fan. Did you cheer in 2009 when A-Rod cheated? Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Did you cheer for Andy Pettit when he pitched? He cheated.
Unfortunately, Andy Pettit's one of my favorites of all time.
When Yankee fans go there now, right? When A-Rod went to open last year, what is it? Um, what's it called? What's it called?
What?
Old Timers Day. Number 13, Alex Rodriguez. The cheater, flat out cheater. Poppy Ortiz, tipping the cap. Right? I mean, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, right? Tyreek Hill goes over to Kansas City. There's Tyreek Hill, Bowen, Ray Rice, Baltimore. If they did a reunion with Ray Lewis, look at Ray Lewis, right? That's sports. That's the way it is. And I'm talking. That's a different thing. But for me, listen, I welcome out anybody. I hated KD because what he did, he went to Brooklyn. But I could tell you this right now: if KD said, "I'm coming to the Knicks," let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yep. Joey's asking. I just asked Joey what kind of fan he is. He's an all New York, so he's got the Knicks,
Okay.
Giants, Rangers, Yankees, and
Islanders.
Liberty.
Oh, Liberty.
Joey,
Liberty. Sorry,
we have
Liberty.
a Giants show. Myself and one of our co-hosts on our main show, we do a Giants show, varying in time. Like usually Monday nights is our Giants show, but we've been hot on the Knicks, so we changed it up a little bit. But you can catch us on Monday nights, sometimes Tuesday nights. Myself and our co-host for that show, Paul Rosen, we do a nice Giants show. So I'd love to have you over there, Joey, and talk some Giants stuff. And we also do a Yankee Mets show from time to time. We combine both of those teams.
Kenny, I got one for you real quick. One more. Did you root for Phil Jackson when he became GM of the Knicks?
Yes, I did.
Was he our bitter? I mean, me and you were at my parents' house growing up, screaming, sit him down, scream, right? Get him off the field. Can't stand him. When he becomes one of yours, he becomes one of yours.
Yeah. Keith throwing his teams out there. The Broncos. We have a Broncos show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about an Angels show or a Lakers show. Maybe Graham, if he our backstage producer, if he ever, came over his stage fright, he'd be a great host for an Avalanche show. But I don't know about the Angels, and you ain't getting the Lakers on here with Kurt.
No, I'm not. I'm
No,
not
against the Lakers. Really not against the Lakers. I mean, if it was Celtics, I'm currently in Maryland. Joey's asking where we are. Kurt's in North Jersey. So that's where I'm originally from. We grew up together, and I moved down here to Maryland. But I'm an all New York fan. Kurt, Broncos, and of course the Knicks.
Kenny. Oh, I wonder if Joey's.
Oh, you St. John's fan? Because Kurt's a big St. John's.
Big St. John's fan. Last one for me, Kenny. Just again, hypothetical. It's not going to happen. New York Knicks have hired a coach.
Rick Pitino?
Nope. Pat Riley. You welcome him back, or you're going to call him? You're going to call him Pat the Rat?
I would definitely welcome him back.
Did he screw
You're
us
the one
over?
that called
Wait,
him.
did he screw us over?
Yeah, but you know what? Business is business. And that's how he took it. I don't like him, but I respect him.
Damn right.
That's how I'm sorry. I don't like him, but I respect him. Again, but me to LeBron James, I just feel is going to be, if Brunson can deal with the, hey, if LeBron's the vet here now, he wants,
Does LeBron, let me ask you this. LeBron or OG? Who would you rather have?
At this point, OG.
Okay.
LeBron or Bridges? LeBron.
Okay. It's fair.
Because let's be realistic. LeBron at his age, he's not going to give you all those minutes that OG can give you and be physical in there. If LeBron came, I would have to welcome it. I don't like it, but if
Right.
he
Me
came,
too. Me too.
I told you if allegations are dropped, I told you the guy I want, Zion, because it ain't going to cost you as much of your depth as you think it's going to cost.
Right.
You can get a third team involved, and that's the guy that would change this team. You know, you put him
And
underneath.
it comes down to this. I just want a friggin' championship. And we are this close. We are
Windows
so
now.
friggin'
We talk
we
about
we are so close. You know, like that's what makes it again, last year, listen, we just got hit with the injury bug. I mean, listen, it was what it was. But this year we were fully healthy. We let this opportunity slip away. You know, I watch OKC and oh, they won 80 games and like we couldn't beat like Mikal Bridges, Brunson, Cat, Josh Hart, OG Ananobi, Mitchell. Like we couldn't beat OKC. We couldn't go 4-3 against them. Like that's the part. And I'm watching this garbage Pacer team play in the finals. They're role players. That's what they are. They're role players.
I
That's the thing that bothers me is we're the better team. We are. We got the better talent. That's what bothers me. You
yep.
know, when I look last year and it's, you know, I'll say this about my Broncos, right? We'll talk Broncos last year. You looked at that field, the Broncos weren't a better team than Buffalo.
No.
They weren't. They just weren't. You know, like, listen, they played with them to a half, and you had to go get better. And it's what we did. But when you're the better team and you let like, you let that opportunity, that's the part that like just has to like crush you. Like we should be in the finals. That's the part that pisses me off. We should be in the finals.
See, I agree a little more with Trevor on this one. Brunson and Cat need the ball in their hands. I don't know. Well, I don't know how well LeBron or KD would fit
Well,
along.
I'll tell you this right now. No disrespect to Brunson and Cat. I mean, no disrespect to Brunson to Cat. We're down one. Cat, go stand in that corner because I'm giving the ball to number 35. I can tell you that right now. There's no question about it. Listen to me. I could coach that team. Bring it up. It's going to be you and KD. They're just playing out better. He's better. He's a better scorer. He's more reliable, and he's done it more in the clutch. KD's getting the ball. Brunson, I still love in the clutch, but listen, same thing with like Giannis. Sorry, Cat. You know what? Nope. You're number 3 now on this team. That's just the way it's going to roll.
Real quick, Kurt, I've been trying to think in my head of a good team to compare this to. How many years do you think to say the Knicks window is? I'm going to say 3. They have to win a championship within the next 3 years,
Yeah.
or the window's closed.
Yeah.
You're going to start having
Well, you know what,
the
Kenny?
second half of Brunson's career, and things are going to
I
start
read a
going.
big tweet today where it said the New York, it wasn't about like somebody from an organization, but somebody was saying that, you know, they said this last year and they'll say it again, that they didn't firmly believe, they think the front office firmly believed that their window is going to start next year, 2025, even
Yeah,
before
okay.
this year, that's what they thought. And they just, the way things broke, like they were ready a year earlier, the way things broke, but that they were really planning for windows to be the 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28. So there's your 3 years.
Yep, Keith's giving us 2. The reason why I said that, I'm going to throw some teams out there. The Nuggets had their window. They won a championship with Jokic, in his prime. Milwaukee won their championship. A team that it failed. That's why I don't want the Knicks to fall in this same category of 76ers. They had their window. And I think now it's come crumbling down. And, Embiid and Maxey are good, but I don't think they're going to win it by themselves. And I think their window is closed. Oklahoma City, all those draft picks, they did it a different way. Hats off to them. They're going for a championship. But, windows close fast, and 2 to 3 years. I'm going to say, some people are going to say 2 like Keith. Some are going to say 3 like us. But yeah, it has to be. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a failure.
See, This is the only reason
But
why
if you get one in 2 or 3, you might get 2 or 3 in 6.
see, this is the only reason. Jen, all right, I'm going to ask you a question. Jen, I said to Jen last night, do you think the two best teams in the NBA are playing in the finals?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So then she said to me, who do you think are the two best teams in basketball? You want to answer first? Or you want me to answer first?
I'll give you who I think is the best in the East. If Tatum was healthy and didn't get hurt in the Knicks series, it would have been the Celtics. I'm being biased. I think the Knicks had the best talent in the East after Tatum went down. So I don't think the best team in the East went the New York Knicks. No. Or the Pacers were not the best team talent-wise.
Okay. And in the West?
In the West, it's a little tougher. I mean, am I being biased because I know we got some Denver Nugget fans in there saying the Nuggets had the best roster, best talent? Jokic, the MVP, and SGA got it, but
See, now,
Jokic and Murray and Gordon and Porter, like that's not the best roster.
Keith is saying OKC and the Knicks. How do you think I answered that?
You said Lakers and the Knicks?
Nope. I said Denver and the Knicks.
You said Denver and the Knicks like me.
Because if you look at it, right, think about this. The Denver Nuggets with no bench, none, no bench, took that team to 7. Why? Because Jokic and Murray, Aaron Gordon, right? Because that's the thing. Like that's why when I look at,
You sure it's not Aaron Judge on the Nuggets?
No, that's why when I look though, see, Denver has that top talent, right? Almost matched everything on OKC.
Yeah.
Right. Think about it. Why? Because their starters are so much better than OKC starters, right? Jokic, Murray, Gordon. Like, who knows if Gordon doesn't he doesn't have that. What did he have? The hamstring, so Denver almost beat them. Right. So I don't think OKC and these are definitely not the two best teams. They're not. That's so frustrating because we blew that opportunity. That's what's frustrating. So.
Yeah, I think we would have had a very good chance as an underdog to because we would have been the underdog. If we were in the finals, I had a very good chance of winning it, and it is frustrating.
Trevor's got a great question. Great.
All right, we'll hit it. I don't know if it's going to pop all. There it is.
I'll say this. Jenny Hoops would answer that with an emphatic no.
Is Joel Embiid still in play for the Knicks? He's arguably the second best center when healthy. If you want a star to take you to the next level, that would be one. Embiid is elite two-way center. Cat's defense worries me, boys. Go ahead, Kurt. Because you probably want him on the Knicks, knowing you.
I will say this. The Joel Embiid I saw play against the Knicks in last year's playoffs. Trevor's right. That guy's only behind Jokic as a center.
Injuries don't concern you?
It does. They do. They do. But I will say this. And somebody called WFAN on Friday, and somebody else posted a video on Twitter. Go look at Karl Anthony Towns highlights from Kentucky. He was slim, blocking. If I showed you that video and I didn't tell you who it was, and I could cover his face, you would be like, "Who is that?" He was a totally different player. Totally different player. He better get his ass in shape. And he could become. Why can't he become a good defensive player? That's hustle. That's work ethic. That's all that is. I'm going to go under the screen. That's not the player. That's the player you got to be. So I think he can get better.
Cat could get better 100%. I think I read also under Tibbs, Cat had this year he's had his worst 3-point percentage in his career. I don't need to see the half court threes, Cat. If you're open, take a 3. But what I want to see is the Cat I saw in the playoffs driving on that Indiana team. I've said that all the time. I
Well, let
preach
me just
that.
throw this one out there. They couldn't. Indiana has nobody that could guard Cat. They couldn't
No,
stop Cat. Right.
Cat, Mitch, they couldn't. They
So
had
let me ask
nobody
you
to
this
stop
though:
them too.
can you imagine if you put Giannis on that team?
That's what I mean. That's why I said, you know, be careful, because
Giannis would look like you
well,
in the
not
Garfield
not
Boys
not be
Club.
careful. I said it may cost, and you know what? To bring in a star, you're going to have to give up something you're not going to want to give up. Like we lost Hartenstein last year because we didn't have the money. I
But
think it may cost Mitch because if Giannis was to come to New York,
I got to do it.
Mitch, you got to do it.
I got to do
Mitch
it.
is going to be in that package because
Have
they
I
know what he did, and that's
wait?
their rival.
Have I won a title with Mitch? Have we
No,
won a title with Mitch?
and believe me, I could deal without the headaches at the
Right.
free throw line.
Even though Greek Freak will probably let you pull some hair out of your head too, but not as bad.
Not as bad, but he could shoot a little bit, so I'm okay with that. If he's going to get me 30 a game, I'll deal with a couple missed free throws.
All right, let's wrap this up. We did.
Yeah,
We went
this has been
almost 2
awesome.
hours. We went 2 hours.
We could talk 24
Knicks
hours,
all time.
Knicks.
But we're gonna
This
be
is our
doing Knicks
passion.
shows. We're gonna do them. You know, I'll go first. You had the final word. Listen, I tell you, a week ago I was fired up, screaming, yelling. Now I'm excited, man. I am excited. Like Keith said, you got the roster, now coach. Let's get this coach. Hey, let's get Giannis, man. Let's try, right? Let's try. And you know what? No Giannis, no KD. Let's run it back. If I have to run it back, listen, I want one of those two. I want Giannis first. I want one of those two. But otherwise, I don't have a problem. Listen to me. We're in Vegas. We're the second favorite to win the whole title, tied with Indiana to win a title. So Giannis and KD are the ones that change, especially Giannis changes the way it looks. But otherwise, let's go. Let's get this coach. Let's just get this title, man. I want this title. I want to thank everyone in the chat. You guys are awesome tonight. But you know, let's go. Kenny, you finish this up.
I'm going to finish this up with Razul's. I don't think Knicks ever win with Brunson's style of play. I think Razul's got a great point there. Maybe we could segue that into our next show, Kurt.
Yep.
Because we're going to be talking about head coaches a lot in these upcoming weeks. And I think a new coach, Razul, may change his style of play a little bit. So, let's see. I know somebody mentioned it earlier. I think it was Eddie Murphy. Maybe taking him off the point guard for if you bring in a point guard, not permanently, but for a few minutes, you have somebody that can run the point, and you roll Brunson at the 2. But he brings up a good point there, Kurt. We may have to use that as part of our agenda next week. Can we win it with Brunson running the way his offense is? Trevor, throw your 2 cents in real quick.
Kenny, real quick. Trevor's intriguing me. He's intriguing me with that, the Brunson and Embiid pick and roll. But I'm going to say this. This is my first choice right there. I just put on the screen. That's what I want right now.
Okay. Next show, we'll concentrate more. We may have a coach by next show. We'll see. And we'll do more of these shows. Joey, I know, is a newcomer. We had some other new faces. Razul came back. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you guys, our OGs, Trevor and Keith and Jody and Eddie Murphy. Just to name a few. I know I probably missed some faces too that were in here. Matt Aloney was in here earlier. Good to see him. Plenty of others. Thank you guys. Knicks talk is hot right now because we should be there.
Yep.
We're not just saying that. We should be there.
Yep.
We'll do more of these. Joey, check us out if you're subscribed to our channel. We do Giant shows. We usually do them either 7 or 8 o'clock. We may do one tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. We got some talk about the rookies and stuff. So if we're going to go on tomorrow, it'll be 7 p.m. If not, we'll be on next week with a Giants talk show. See everybody. Kurt and I taking some time off. K&K, our good friend from What's the Scoop on the K&K Sports Show programming. Kurt will be hosting with a couple of his friends. Go check them out. Filling in for us as we take a little much needed break from K&K, as our summer break, and we will see everybody for Knicks show next. We'll do another one next week. So we'll see everybody next week for a Knicks show. Have a good night, everybody.
Go Knicks.